Spores were buffed, so that does make up for that. Regardless, here we go. We are jumping into our next game. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg, the South Korean Zerg representing Gaimin Gladiators. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. We go. Lurker nerf. I don't think the Lurker nerf really impacts Lurker versus Lurker ZvZ. I feel like that's still going to be a thing. I don't think that's going to impact that kind of dynamic. Haven't done the math on battling lurkers yet, so they got less HP. True, I guess. I don't know if that's still worth it though. I would imagine that that Lurker Viper still outscales Roach Ravager, but I could be wrong. True, could be wrong. If so, that would be a positive change, just because Lurker versus Lurker is not the most interesting thing to. I mean, it's like tank lines in TVT, right? I feel like Lurker versus Lurker and Viper versus Viper is one of those things that most Zerg players try to avoid. We do get there every now and then, but it's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen proper Viper versus Viper. It was a lot more prevalent in the Gressvan map pool, but that's because back then the map pool was more conducive to turtle play. That was like, what, a year ago at this point? Maybe just over a year ago? Those were some dark times. Like, I casted many a 40-minute ZvZ. So many. Involving players like Dark, SHIN, Solar, Scarlet. No. In 2023, I casted enough, like, Viper versus Viper. Oh no. Remember Hot Swarmhost versus Swarmhost? That was also a very dark time as well. You're not wrong. That was... no. We don't talk about that. That's been killed though. That's no longer possible. No longer. The Lurker Viper issue though, that's still prevalent in modern StarCraft. But again, that was more prevalent last year, right? Thankfully. Meanwhile, we are going to be settling in. It's just going to be our initial openers, hatch gas pool all around. It was a slightly more delayed gas though from SHIN. So Solar will have faster link speed. Getting into his third, throwing down the Roach one. Interesting, Solar skipping Banelings. Meanwhile, SHIN, because of the later gas, yep, it is going to be 2-base play. So 2-base Roach out of SHIN. Solar, he does correctly read this. Upon seeing the lack of third, he knows that there is no Baneling nest, so he knows to skip it and go into Roaches. So far, a good response by Solar. Now, what is interesting to me, usually if you play 2-base Roach, you skip link speed. And do you see what I see? Because link speed is being made, it's a link flood. It's going to be a link flood. And Solar's going to be vulnerable to this because he skipped the Baneling nest. So this is a bit of a mind game. Basically, once again, to reiterate, when you play 2-base like this, link speed is skipped. That is just the way to play. It's the most efficient way to play 2-base Roach. So link speed is a surprise. And here we go. Here comes the link flood. Link flood moves out. Solar getting in position. Again, does he have anything to defend? Oh, nothing. Nothing to defend. And does the game end here and now? Lings, they could just dive into the natural, but they go for the third. They get secure damage. Honestly, if these Lings went for the natural instead, they could have ended the game. They could have straight up ended the game. Regardless, they get a kill in the third. Massive pickoff. I mean, SHIN didn't know. SHIN didn't know that there was literally nothing to defend. Ay. Third base goes down, pushes into the natural. Going for the Evo chamber. He does force a wall. Evo chamber's cancelled. And behind this, SHIN is getting his own third and building up to Roaches. So again, Solar is fortunate that SHIN didn't dive in. Very fortunate. I mean, this would have been a very fast game one. But Solar holds. And now both players are embracing Roach production. Racing roaches. Shin gets us around on one roach, forces a Ravager. Solar trying to gain a map control, trying to expand and to get his third. Shin is aware. Shin can now try and take an economic lead. Right now, Solar, his goal here is to try to figure out, is Shin droning? Is he droning? Is he not? We know that Shin, he's making nothing but roaches. Shin is going for a 2-base all-in. Solar will now confirm. He comes in from behind. He confirms no drones, no saturation. And that tells Solar to keep making roaches to survive. Meanwhile, here comes the all-in. Shin is pushing. He will have queens to help transfuse. Creep is spreading. And Solar has seen everything he needs to, again, build up his army. Is it enough, though? Shin has a supply lead. And the queens with their transfuse. That is going to be a big factor as well. Solar getting in position. Oh, Solar, he gets supply blocked. Overlords are going down. 4 Overlords on the way. And Shin may just have too much. Yeah, transfuse coming in as well. Saves the roaches. Vials. Oh, they get massive connections. Vials do connect, but it may not matter. Shin may just have too much anyway. Pushes up the ramp, taking it slow. And getting on top of the roaches. The Vials up. Once again, they connect. Vials, they connect, but the final ones do not. Shin getting on top of the Ravagers. Queens waddling forward as well. Boys are being pulled. They have to be. And Shin, it looks like he has done it. Gets 3 drone kills. No more transfuse, but it is enough. GG gets called, and Shin will take game number 1. GG. Again, a very cheeky move out of Shin, just mind gaming his opponent, winding it back. As a reminder, Shin, he did open 2-base roach, but he did invest into link speed, which is often not done. It is often skipped, which is why Solar was so exposed, which is why Solar had nothing to defend. He was caught with his pants down by the Link Flood, and with that, Shin, he could have gotten more damage, but he did settle just for killing the third, and then he followed it up with the 2-base all-in. Solar, he was aware of the all-in, but he still was unable to build up a large enough army. He had lost too much in the process when it came to losing that third base. He had less of an army. He also got supply blocked. That was another big moment. He lost too many Overlords and could not keep up. GG. GG, well played. We're now getting into game number 2. Afternoon. Hello, Nikachu. Hello. Welcome. Well, you tune in just in time for the finals. Just in time. So we're getting into that second game. Again, Shin clearly showing us that he can be very cheeky, very aggressive. Can be very in your face. Here we go. We're getting into game 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the red Zerg player representing Gaiman Gladiators, leading the series 1-0. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the other South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg for Team Falcons. It is Solar. ZvZ a rarity. Exactly. I did mention before, but this week's PiGosaur Cup was missing a lot of key competitors. There was no Trigger, there was no Trap, there was no Nightmare, there was no Bjorn, no Cure. Your usual Terran and Protoss representatives weren't really here this week. Estrella was, and Estrella did have a very close series against Solar. I do recommend the VODs for the semifinals if you missed them. So Estrella was there, but again, he was kind of the biggest and the only big Protoss name in the brackets. The others not here today. Not today. Likewise, Solar, he signed up for his first PiGosaur Cup. Solar doesn't often play in these, and as a result, ZvZ finals. It's all about if anyone could stop Shin and Solar from facing off, and this week, they could not. Could not be stopped. Likewise, there was no Clem either, right? There was no Clem, there was no Max. Not this time. As Solo's going Hatch Gas Pool, so is Shin. We'll keep an eye on their setups. We'll keep an eye on their link speed. On a map as small as Whispers of Gold, I would imagine Lingbane. I would imagine we will be embracing Lingbane, getting to a third base and getting to a more standard back and forth ZvZ. It's all going to be about whether or not they saturate their third bases. That's going to be the question. Do they saturate or do they go for roach pushes? Because this map is shorter, because the third bases are more exposed, I do feel like roach aggression can be favored on Whispers of Gold. I mean, the last time we saw Solo on this map, he all-in Estrella, right? Like, he straight up, like, 2-base all-in him off of 48 workers. So we'll see. We shall see. As things are moving out, link speed is being researched. Everything looking normal so far, which means both players should be expanding and taking their third bases. There it is. Third is on the way for Solar, and third is now on the way for SHIN. Solar is slightly ahead by a couple of seconds, but nothing too major. Both players are expanding. And there's that Baneling Nest for SHIN. We should be seeing one momentarily for Solar as well. We should be seeing one momentarily for Solar as well. He's link flooding. Never mind. So Solar, he's skipping Banelings. He's going to go for a link flood and then go for a Roach Warren behind this. There it is. There's the Roach Warren. So bold move by Solar. This means that if this link flood doesn't trade well enough, he's going to be vulnerable to a Link Bane counterattack. Here we go. Solar, he's committing. Lings, they do move out across the map. Back at home, SHIN, his Baneling is just now finishing up. And he needs those Banelings. Banelings are morphing in. 3 queens moving forward. So far, SHIN is holding his own. They attempt to come in for a surround. But SHIN is keeping up. Does defend. Does protect his third. Banelings morph in. And SHIN holds. SHIN does hold. But what's important is that Solar didn't lose many links. So he can maintain map control and get away with his roaches. Roaches are amassing. SHIN does push. Oh! Doesn't lose the Baneling though. Does move command forward. Likewise, roaches are confirmed. SHIN is aware. He pulls back, throwing down his own Roach Warren. There is going to be a window now in time where Solar has roaches and SHIN does not. And Solar, he's pushing. Is pushing out. Now, what's important here is that the Overlords spot the move out, and Solar knows that, and he's droning. So Solar, he's basically faking a push. He's faking a push, droning up behind this. He's trying to force an overreaction. At the same time, we do see SHIN going for a counterattack. Does dive in, going for the queen. Baneling's rolling in as well. And Solar, he's forced back home. Oh, the Banelings! Oh my god. No major connections. Headed for the mineral line. Picking up a couple of roaches, not bad. The Banelings aren't wasted. SHIN gets one drone, he backs off, and behind this, SHIN has some catching up to do. He has to drone. You can see here that SHIN, he was kind of baited into making all these roaches that he didn't need. And because of that, SHIN did fall behind in drones and is now catching up. Still being active with the Link Bane. Still being active, we have that back and forth. Lings are threatening both third bases. And we do see that Solar's not droning. Solar, he droned up a little bit. He droned up to 37, but that's it. Solar, he has cut workers. He's making purely roaches. If SHIN keeps droning, he may have overdroned. He's up to 46. 46 drones. He has to stop. If he makes another wave of drones, that's going to be game. Okay, roaches are on the way. Another Overlord going down. Doesn't quite supply block SHIN. SHIN, he's checking for saturation. He doesn't know. Now he does. He confirms. No drones, no saturation. It isn't all in. SHIN is aware, but knowing is half the battle. As Solar has a massive supply lead. I'm going to say that. He has like a 5 supply lead. It's still big, though. It is going to be 22 roaches to 21. Hey, not bad. SHIN is keeping up. Solar pushing forward. Solar doesn't have Banelings. Bear that in mind. Banelings are rotating back around. SHIN, he's holding his own. He has a comparable army. Ravagers are ready. SHIN, he should be okay. The Vials, they do not connect. And SHIN pushing forward. Getting on top of the roaches. The longer this goes on, the better it is for SHIN. Ooh, at the same time, 6 drones go down. Massive pickoffs. Very nice counterattack at a Solar. SHIN still has a worker lead, but it's not as large as it should be. He should have a larger lead. It's not there. Solar pulling him apart. Very nice run by. And now Solar's droning. Solar's droning, and he has done enough damage. So Solar backs off, and we're getting into a macro game. Now, when it comes to a longer game state here, SHIN will have an upgrade lead. He has +1 range already on the way. Meanwhile, Solar has no Evo Chamber. Or sorry, he does have an Evo Chamber, but no upgrades. No upgrades yet. So there is going to be a window where SHIN has the better quality army. Drone counts are still very comparable to each other. We can see actually that SHIN is not droning, neither is Solar. Again, like ZvZ at this kind of level, it's all about who drones and who doesn't, and who's aware of the droning and who isn't, right? Like, it's all about scouting, it's all about saturation at the third, and we can see that neither one is saturating that third base. It's purely Roach Ravager. Both players are keeping up with each other. Another Overlord goes down. Supplies are neck and neck. In ZvZ, again, at this level, it's sometimes if you drone, you die. Straight up. So you have to be very careful with how and when you drone. It is on the knife's edge. Meanwhile, massive catch. Solar gets a good chunk of roaches. Roaches are going down. Massive pickoff. Another Overlord as well. SHIN still has a comparable roach army, though. Not a larger roach army. Solar is committing. Pushing in. Does have a Ling Run by ready to go into the mineral line for a second time. He pulls the trigger. He's going for the third. The workers have to pull away. SHIN is getting pulled apart. He's getting pulled apart here. Solar trying to gain ground. That's a kill on the hatchery. Massive pickoff. Solar has more larva. At the same time, SHIN also hits the third. Doesn't get anywhere near as much damage. Does get on top of the Roach Ravager though. Massive pickoffs. So SHIN, he outtrades the main army, but he lost the third. He lost the third base. Ling Rabai going back in. Forces SHIN to turn around. And SHIN, he comes back home. Oh, he can't afford to lose these drones. Oh no! They fight. 1 drone goes down. 2, 3. Oh, the whole position is brutal. 6 drone kills in the main. SHIN, his economy is crippled. He's down to 2 bases. The longer this goes on, the worse it is. SHIN, he has to go on. He has to move out across the map. And the problem is that Solar knows that. So Solar is making more roaches, making more ravagers. He's getting ready for the all-in. Going for another run by. Ay, ay, ay. Keeps reinforcements back at home. More drones going down. Oh my, getting the entire mineral line. 7 more drone kills. And here comes SHIN. Again, it's all or nothing. He does have the upgrade lead. He has +1. Avoids the vials. Pushing forward. And it looks like SHIN, he might just overwhelm. Yeah, that +1 advantage. It's going to be close. Can Solar hold? So far, so good. Ravagers are buying time. But reinforcements have arrived. Vials do connect. Failings into Queens, not ideal. The Queens are falling. SHIN pushing forward. Vials do not connect. Here come the reinforcements. SHIN threatens the Roach Warren, getting into the mineral line. SHIN is down to 26 drones, but he will snipe the hatchery. Just barely. But Solar still has a supply lead. It's up in roaches, up in ravagers. And despite losing the base, Solar looks like he has enough. And Stutter stepping forward, sniping the final roaches. And GG gets called. Solar ties up the series 1-1. We are going to game 3. We have a back and forth. We have a series. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very intense back and forth. SHIN, he did have a stronger start, but if you remember, Solar, he bounced back with his Ling run-bys. He was just non-stop healing off Lings to hit the third base at the same time as the main push. He was just pulling SHIN apart. Was able to cripple his economy, killed the third base, got into mineral lines multiple times, and eventually SHIN, he just ran out of resources, ran out of an economy, and ran out of steam. And with that, we're getting into game number 3. Let's go. Getting into the ace match. Sorry, not the ace. Oh my god, I'm still in the best of 3 mindset. Getting into a tied series. As a reminder, it's a best of 5, so plenty more games ahead of us. Plenty more games to come. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player representing Gaiman Gladiators being forced into a tied series. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Zerg player representing Team Falcons. Tying it up, it is Solar. Here we go. So we are going to be settling in. And so far we do have our hatch first here. It's going to be hatch first out of Solar, hatch first out of SHIN. So far everything is looking normal. But once again, our eyes are going to be on the gas income. It's going to be on the timing of the Bailey Nest, the third base, the Roach Warren, and whether or not our players drone up the third. It's all about that third base saturation. Do they make drones? Do they not? Do they fake out a move out? Do they commit? It's all about the mind games. It's all on a knife's edge. For now, though, everything looking standard. We're calming things down. After an intense game 2. As Overlords are moving out. So far, it looks like a standard opener, which means we should be embracing Link Speed and we should be working towards Link Bane. I mean, I said that last game, but Solar did actually go for a Link Flood into Roaches behind it. But I don't see him doing that 2 games in a row. Usually it is unwise to do so. Better to keep your opponent guessing than creating like a pattern and making yourself a little bit more readable or more obvious. More predictable. It's the word that I was looking for. Now there's Link Speed, pulling out of gas. Just 2 and 2. Third base is on the way for both players. So far everything looks normal and we should be seeing those Bailey Nests momentarily. Show us the Bailings. Oh, there it is. There we go. For the first time this series, Bailey Nest gets thrown down for Solar. Bailey Nest also thrown down for SHIN. We are going to be entering the Ling Bane phase of ZvZ for the first time. We did avoid it in Game 1 and Game 2. Now we have it for Game 3. Now, this might be the game where both players, especially because we're on ley lines and the map is a little bit more defendable, we could just drone up and, you know, saturate the third and get into Roach v Roach, but there it is, 16 Lings on the way. SHIN is going for a flood. He's going for a Link Flood, he's going for aggression. And we'll see if SHIN can break Solar and outtrade. Bailey Nest is done. 2 Baileys morphing in across the map. They're rallied into the mineral line. SHIN, he's going for the dark maneuver. His goal here is to distract the main army and get into the natural. We'll see if he can. So far the queens, they do a good job. One queen gets spaded out. Sorry, one Bailing gets spaded out, meant to say. Queens, they do pull out as well, but alas, it looks like the Bailings are zoned away. So far so good. Another Bailing falls. Another best trades from Solar. You see SHIN pulling back to his Bailings, trying to drag the army in. Unable to, though. Solar, he's wise to it, and Solar defends. Solar does defend. Both players have been droning. They have been saturating. Solar, he does threaten a counterattack, but so far SHIN is keeping up. Doesn't lose the Baneling. Doesn't lose the Baneling yet. More Lings on the way. Roach production has begun for Solar, so it has it for SHIN as well. Oh. SHIN does save his queen. He's keeping up. Roaches have arrived, Banelings as well, and SHIN is looking very secure. Both players, they're droning. It's happening. We're macroing. Let's go. Both players are droning up. They're saturating their thirds. SHIN does threaten to move out, but once again, this is a fake out. He reveals his army to the overlords. And then he comes back. Again, like SHIN has no intention of pushing. He's just trying to force a reaction at Solar, and it works. Solar, he makes roaches. Okay, and this is the moment. Solar, he is not droning. He drones up to 41. Link Scout does confirm, and SHIN might be a little bit too greedy here. He's taking gases. He gets up to 50 drones. He needs to stop making workers. SHIN needs to stop droning. Otherwise, that could be it. As Solar, he's going for basically a 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in, 41 drones. Oh, SHIN is still droning. He's being very greedy. Very greedy play here by SHIN, droning up to 53. Spine crawlers are on the way. They're going to be necessary here to defend. And here comes the all-in. The army is spotted. Solar's moving out. A second spine crawler on the way. Again, it's going to be very necessary, and even then, it might not be enough. Spine crawlers will help. More Ravagers morphing in for Solar. Does push forward. They're just diving on the army. Bailey's looking for some good connections. One of them's okay. Spine crawlers, they do finish up in time. Boys are being pulled. Again, they have to be. The Bailey's! Oh my god, massive connections. 7 drones go down. And Solar, it looks like he's done it. He has broken through. SHIN was just a little bit too greedy. Spine crawler goes down. I say that reinforcements have arrived. Boys are being pulled once again. SHIN bleeding out a lot of drones. And it looks like SHIN will force back the army at the cost of 14 workers. Losing every worker here at the third base. If it wasn't for the Bailey connection earlier, then SHIN would actually be in a good position. Does survive at least. Meanwhile, Solar's not done. Solar, he's still not droning, still not saturating, still completely all in. SHIN does reposition his Spine Crawler. Ooh. Solar gets another Overlord. Still has supply lead. Working counts are neck and neck. You can see Solar getting ready for a Ling Run by to snipe the third. He did it before. We're looking to do it again. Solar getting another Overlord. You can see SHIN is scouting, he's looking for saturation. You can see Solar, he does transfer some workers over. He hasn't droned, he's making it look like he's droning. He does transfer. Well, he does poke in. Files, they do not connect. And meanwhile, Solar does come in from behind. Sets up a surround. A couple of Biles do connect. But the Lings are denied. Ooh, another Bile connects. Lings, they hit the third. And SHIN has to respond. Pulls back a couple of Roaches. Roach speed does kick in for SHIN. Does have the upgrade lead. Lair is just now on the way for Solar. And SHIN holds. Shin, he does hold on, and now Solar's actually droning. So is Shin. Now, I love this response out of Shin. Remember, Shin, his advantage was the lair. This was a hatch-based all-in. So with that lair, what does it lead into? Not just roach speed, mutas as well. Mutas are going to be on the way. Shin just making use of that greater tech. Let's go. I love the contamination on the hatchery. Not on the roach warren. Contamination nonetheless. Will impact larva production. Overseer into the main will confirm the spire, and that will force out more spores, more queens. But at least Solo knows. At least he does confirm, and the other guy is pushing in. Oh, he thinks about it. Solo playing more defensively. He's going for a Hydra Den. Hydra's on the way. Being run by Zard denied. Mutas reveal themselves. How many mutas? It's going to be 9. 9 mutas here for Shin. That is more than enough to one-shot drones, to threaten overlords, and to gain map control. Now behind this Shin, he is doubling down on the Roach Ravager. You can see Sola taking up into Hydra Lurker, but it's going to be Lair Tech Lurkers. Shin finding another overlord. Gets 2. Supply block Solar. Oh, he wants the Hydras. He wants them. Gets 1, gets 2. 2 Hydras, 1 Muta. Not bad. Oh, getting another Hydra. Third Hydra goes down. Starter stepping forward. Catching out all these lings. And Shin is the first to max. Now, bearing in mind, as Shin will have the kind of lower tier army, as the game progresses, the Hydra Lurker composition here of Solar is going to outscale Shin, but he's not there yet. Again, Solar is still only on Lair Tech, so he's unable to embrace those upgrades. His Lurkers are going to be that much more vulnerable because of that. Sure, Shin is tempted to dive on those Hydras. There's actually not many of them. Getting another Hydra. You can see there are 2 Lurkers here in position. Another 4 here at the center base. Shin pushes in. Does have detection. Takes out 1, takes out both Lurkers. And the base goes down. Massive pickoff. Gets the expansion. Pulls away. Lurker's trying to push forward. The base is denied. So far, Shin is trading well. And we'll be losing his mutas though. And he needs to stop this center base. The other concerning thing here is that sure, Shin, he sniped an expansion, he got 2 Lurkers, but the Lurker count is still getting bigger and bigger. It's building up. More Lunkers. Oh. Shin gets another Lurker. Rotating around, going for the 4th. He wants it. Going for the Hydras even. Miles has turned the army away. Shin pushing in, gets up the expansion. That's all he needs. The base goes down. Lurkers out of position. With the entire army out of position. Shinny collapses in. Almost gets surrounded though. Shinny has to get the hell out of here. It has to pull away. And Shinny's doing enough. This is enough here. He's just knighting the third base over and over again. Hive is now done. Hive upgrades are on the way, but Solar, he needs an economy to sustain this army. He doesn't have it. Solar, he needs the economy. Runby doesn't get much done. Pushing forward. And you can see Shin is already taking up towards lurkers as well. He's getting ready for it. And Shin pushes in. Picks up more lurkers. Oh, the army's out of position. Solo pushing up a ramp into his own expansion. Hydras know where they need to be whilst they connect as well. They shut down the Hydra-based army. Lurkers are holding their own, but they're a little bit too far back. And once again, the base falls for a second time. From here, Shin pivots away. Got 9 workers. Solo trying to take a backup base. Did double expand. Viper production has begun for Shin. Getting another lurker. And he has just been pulling Solar apart. And again, a big reason for this kind of game state is the fact that Solar did go for a failed 2-base all-in. So Shin was able to get into his mutas and force the lurker response. And we're going for a base trade. We're sending it, Papi. I don't know if we needed to commit to the base trade, but Shin, he's committed. Gets the Roach Warren. Pushes into the natural at the same time. Solo going for the 4th. But when he will get it. The 3rd base goes down. The 4th under fire as well. GG gets called though. Shin, he has far too much, and Shin will take a 2-1 lead. GG. GG, well played. Shin will take a lead. Again, Solar, he was so committed early on, and it was very intense. It was a very intense all-in out of Solar. Shin, he barely held. Shin did lose a lot of drones in the defense, but he got away with his lair. And again, after he held, he was able to rush into Muta tech. With those mutas, he didn't end the game with the mutas, but he did force a more defensive response out of his opponents. Was able to snipe workers, was able to contain, snipe overlords as well. He forced out Hydras, which led into lurker tech. But again, the economy was lackluster for Solar, and he couldn't really afford too much Hydra lurker. It was getting picked apart, and Shin was able to take it from there. GG. GG, well played. Shin, he was able to take his lead and snowball out of control, and now we are getting ready for our next game. We're getting ready for the first time tonight, Snowpiercer. Let's go. Let us go. Team Falcons, but no Phoenixes. Suspicious. Oh, no. No Phoenixes. I don't think they're in, at least StarCraft, there's no Phoenix team. I know there's Risen from the Ashes. I don't know if they're... Are they still a thing? Are Risen from the Ashes, are they still a team? I'm not so certain about that. But, Smurge. Regardless, here we go. We're getting to our next game. Potentially the final game of the series. I mean, I'm hoping for an ace match, but we'll see. Speaking of hoping for an ace match, I mean, this is only our first broadcast of the day. Our next broadcast is going to be in a couple of hours. Oh boy, it's going to be in 5 hours time. Ideally, I would like to nap before the next cast, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. As in 5 hours, we're going to be live with the Alima League. Alima League is up next. The return of Alima League. You do love to see it. We'll get there. But now, though, we are settling in and spawning in the top right-hand corner of a Snowpiercer. We have, for the first time tonight, for the first time in the broadcast, we are spawning into a very cold map. And in the top right, we have the Gaiman Gladiators. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. For Team Falcons, it is Solar. Here we go. Appreciate the times you stream stuff because it's always during my preferred hours. You're welcome. You're welcome. We have two set times where we cast. This cast, I believe, is a little bit more favored towards NA viewers, less so to Europeans. And then we have, again, in 5 hours time, which is at a more better time slot and a better time zone for European competitors, and Korean ones as well. Less so for NA. So those are our two usual time slots for our casts. Here we go. As the Overlords do move out, it is going to be Hatchgas Pool, standard opener from our two players. Snowpiercer is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Very large. I think the largest out of all the new maps. I could be mistaken, but I believe it is the longest rush distance. A lot of bases to be taken as well. Potential for longer macro games, but in a ZvZ, we don't really expect that. We expect things to end a lot faster, a lot quicker. We've been seeing a lot of aggression out of both SHIN and Solar. We have yet to experience kind of like a standard kind of three-way setup. Time and time again, both Solar and SHIN have been cutting workers and being hyper-aggressive. Is this finally the game where they calm things down? Potentially. Potentially. I'm Eastern Standard Time, but I live at night. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough, man. Oh no, the Overlord battles. Not like this. As Lings do move out, third bases are being taken. So far, so good. It looks like both players should be working towards their Bailey Nest momentarily. Oh, there it is. Bailey Nest for Solar, and we should be seeing a Bailey Nest for SHIN as well. And there it is. So Ling Bane is upon us. Now, the last time we entered Ling Bane last game, we saw SHIN going for initial Ling Flood. We'll see if that happens again, or if Solar is the aggressor instead. For now, both players are joining. Solar dips in, does confirm. Solar makes a wave of drones. And SHIN does not. So once again, SHIN, he makes 12 more Lings. And SHIN is going to move out. So SHIN is going to be the aggressor. Or one Ling falls. Pretty big pickoff. Usually these two Lings morph into Banelings. But because Solar's chasing, he will not allow Banelings to morph in. Instead of Banelings morphing in defensively back at home. Both players are droning. SHIN does have the Ling lead, but he actually doesn't move out yet. He spots the Roach Warren, spots the gases. And we're calming things down. Now, because of this, Solar has the lead. Solar, he does have a drone advantage. A big reason because of this is because SHIN did make extra Lings. So SHIN, he invested into Lings that he didn't really make use of. So SHIN is slightly behind. SHIN does have that deficit. There's going to be that much more pressure on SHIN to recover and bounce back. Does make early Roaches as well. Again, SHIN, he made early Lings, now he's making early Roaches, and this is really hurting him more than anything. It is allowing Solar to get further ahead drone-wise. As SHIN is just playing safe. I don't blame him based on the series so far. Ooh, Baneling goes down. Bit of miscontrol there by SHIN. And as we're entering a more economic game state, Solar, he has a lead. Does maintain the lead. Roach production has begun. Solar, he's up 10 drones. And we spoke about Snowpiercer earlier. Because of the long rush distance by ground, when SHIN does move out, Solar has so much time to respond. It's an all-in. Okay, so SHIN is going for an all-in. The big tell here, of course, no lair. There is no lair for SHIN. Solar is working on +1 in roach speed. SHIN, only +1. Only +1 range. It's going to be all or nothing for SHIN. I'll be honest, I'm not too fond of an all-in on this map, but we'll see. We'll see if SHIN can somehow overwhelm. Ideally, SHIN wants to try to bait Solar into droning, but Solar hasn't droned up too much. Solar going for his own Nidus Worm. Let's go. I mean, again, Solar, he's keeping up in the army supply. SHIN pulls the trigger. He's moving out. It's all or nothing. Either SHIN breaks Solar or he dies trying. And again, Solar has a comparable army size. Banelings are morphing in. Solar getting supply blocked. The Banelings, they will add quite a bit of DPS here on top of the Roaches. Roaches, they take a lot of hits. SHIN started stepping forward. Solar getting his own Banelings. We'll soften those Roaches up. Reinforcements on the way, but with the help of the Transfuse, Solar, he's holding. Yeah, he shuts this down. He completely shuts this down. The Lings fall, the Roaches as well. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and Solar ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Again, I'm not too fond of all-ins on Snowpiercer. The rush distance by ground is just so long. And again, Solar, because how large the map was, he got away with droning earlier on. SHIN, he was making Lings, making Roaches early on. It just, yeah, it ate into his overall economy and did hurt him more than anything. And with that, Solar, he was coming into that defense ahead. He was up in workers, and he was even on army as well. He was even on army supply. Takes the fight, takes the game. We're going to the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends in game 5 on Amygdala. Now we're going to be spawning into a much smaller map. We're going to be loading into the map with all the rocks, of course. We'll get into it. We'll get into it here. And this is going to mean it's going to be a little bit easier to be aggressive, to be the aggressor. So I don't see our players running up anywhere near as freely as they just did. We'll see. As we are getting into the ace match and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the red Zerg player for Gaiman Gladiators being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? Can he bounce back and take the series? It is SHIN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his debut in the PiGosaur Cup. Solar, he has never played in this tournament before. He is making his debut, and he is coming out swinging here, forcing the ace match. Can he walk that royal road and become his, or take the championship for the first time? It is Solar for Team Falcons. Let's go. Again, when it comes to regular competitors to this tournament series, we see Beyond, we see Trap, Nightmare, Clem, MaxPack, SHIN. Less so Solar. Solar, he has been as active in these open cups, not in recent times. But now he's here, he's back, he's looking good. He is looking strong, but it's just been a very chaotic series as well. I mean, it's been very back and forth, very even so far. We'll see where this takes us. Meanwhile, welcome to Amygdala. Of course, there are so many rocks in the center of the map. Many, many rocks here to deny attack paths. Likewise, we have these center gold bases as well. They could come into play, but in a ZvZ, I can't imagine they will, to be honest. I feel like these bases are so vulnerable and so exposed. I don't see either player taking this early on as a third or even as a fourth. So we do settle in. Likewise, rush distance by ground can be quite short, especially if you knock down those rocks. Otherwise, we'll have to go the long way around, which are covered by the Zelnaga towers. Right now, we are droning. We're saturating. Standard hatch gas pool, no gasless opener, no pool first. No delayed gas. So once again, this should be Lingbane. Should be Lingbane. Pomiaja versus Matt, the final true. When was Solar's last tournament? Solar, I believe he has been playing in the Wardy TV Monday. My apologies if I didn't make it clear, but Solar hasn't been playing in the Americas weeklies. Specifically this, PiGosaur Cup, Ursasaurus. I think he may have played in the Ursasaurus Cup back in the day. Back like 2 months ago. But not in this one. As the Bailey Nest is being thrown down for Shin. Solar is skipping the nest. Okay, bold move. He's skipping the Bailey Nest, going into roaches. And we'll see if Solar can get away with it. We shall see. As Shin is just droning for now. No Link Flood yet. I don't think Shin is aware. Yeah, he hasn't scouted. No scout from Shin. Solar he's doing the Solar build. He's doing it. Plus on Carapace is on the way, and this should be for a Ling Roach all in. Should be for Ling Roach. Show us that Roach Warren. There it is. Roach Warren has been placed. This is a build that Solar did popularize. I want to say like in 2021 or something. It's been a couple of years. But this is Solar's go-to. At least it was for a long time. So again, it's going to be a Ling Roach all in. Because of Carapace, it means that defensive Banelings are that much less effective against Lings and Roaches as well. Likewise, Lings in general are going to be less effective against Roaches. Ooh, but the Ling Scout does get in! Yeah, big moment here for Shin. He does confirm the lack of Baneliness. He confirms the researching Evo Chamber as well. He knows. Shin is aware. Despite that getting caught out, Shin has to back off, getting into his own Roach production. Defensive Banelings on the way. Roaches are amassing for Solar. He's cutting workers at 35, and again, it's all or nothing for Solar off of 2 gases. Roach production has begun. Ling's going to be zoned away. Up! Oh my god. Be careful. Solar does not take the Baleen to the face, does retreat. Meanwhile, back at home, he's building up more Roaches. Oh my god. 1 Baleen for 2 Lings. Not the best trade for Shin. It's better for Solar. There's still 1 Baleen left. Shin doesn't want to waste it. Roaches have arrived. Shin has to back up. Oh my god. Yeah, once again, not the best connection. Takes down a Ling. Roaches are building up. Shin does have a drone lead. And Shin has not overdroned. He's got... Oh, I say that he's making more drones. He's getting up to 49 workers. He has to be careful. Sorry, 46. Oh, he cancels. You'll see he does cancel the drones. Making more Roaches, making more Lings. He does have plus on range finishing up. Does have a lair finishing up as well. Bearing in mind that this is a hashtag all-in for Solar. No Spine Callers for Shin. Solar coming in from the right-hand side. There we go. Spine Callers now on the way. Is it too late? Lings, they come in for a surround. Yeah, they get into the middle line. Drones are going down. Massive pickoffs. He gets 4 workers, but what about the main army? That's a lot of Roaches. That's a lot of Roaches here for Shin. He holds. Forces back the army. And Solar, he's droning. He backs off. He knows he cannot break him. Drones are on the way. Lair is on the way. Gases as well. But this is all late. This is all delayed for Solar. At least he killed 4 drones. True. Did I say 4? Get 6. 6 drone kills. But Shin, he saturates his bases. He's moving out. I don't think Shin can really threaten a push, but he's faking a move out. He is faking. Behind this is going to be saturating. Ooh, my apologies. I thought that Shin had a faster lair. I think he canceled. I could be mistaken, but I think he did cancel during the fight. So Shin doesn't actually have the lead that I thought he did. He is still ahead, don't get me wrong, but not as far as ahead as he otherwise could have been. As Solar's getting into +1 range, he's getting to his own road speed. Gaining access to the gold. Oh, SHIN once again going for the Spire. We saw this previously in game, what was it, game 3? SHIN getting into mutas. I mean, it is a good way to gain map control. Changeling is denied. Likewise, SHIN, he's also looking for a Spire. And up, he doesn't fully get behind the mineral line. Speaking of Spire, there it is. It's on the way at the natural. Muta versus Muta. Let's go. It's a very rare sight to see Muta, kind of these Muta wars or these Muta battles. Oh, Ling gets in. And Solar Scouts, he does confirm. A massive moment here for Solar. Gets a queen. And he does get eyes on the Spire. Sniping 4 drones as well. Solar taking a worker lead, a worker advantage. Now, because Solar's Spire is later than that of SHIN, and because Solar just scouted, that means that Solar may not go Muta. He could go Corruptor instead. Could go into Corruptors. There we go. 6 Mutas on the way. Solar should know that he's behind in the Spire timing, so Corruptors would make sense. Since he's going to be just behind the Mutas. But we'll see. What's it going to be? Spire is done. Ooh, Muta's on the way. Okay, so he's going to be embracing the Muta wars. It's going to be Muta versus Muta. Overseer going into the natural. Does confirm. Overlords are being cleaned up. But Solar, his own Mutas are about to pop. There's going to be a lot of dead Overlords, though. That's what, 3 Overlords going down and an Overseer. Does supply block Solar. Mutas are revealed. SHIN has to back up and needs to invest into more Mutas. More Muta path. SHIN has a slight Muta lead. It's 13 to 11. Ooh, gets behind the mineral line. Drones are going down. Massive pickoffs. Gets 2 drones and the gas geyser as well. Now, without a Spore Crawler, without Queens, Solar has to respect the Mutas. 18 to 14. Roaches once again. They go for the drones. We see Solo going for a massive Roach counterattack. He is spotted by the Overlords. And SHIN pulls back home. Does pull back home, catching out the Roaches. SHIN still maintains a slight lead. Upgrade lead is going to be in favor of Solar in a couple of seconds. Oh my god! SHIN does pick off 2 Mutas. They trade 1 for 1. Better trade here for Solar. He was stacked. SHIN was not. Meanwhile, Roaches, they push in. But SHIN does not have enough. Yeah, not enough on the ground. Solar, he will take the better fight as well. SHIN, he can't engage. Not head on like that. Remember, +1 range is done. Oh, sorry, +1 air attack is done for Solar. So he does take the fight. Rotating around. SHIN flanking the army. Oh, gets a Muta. There he does commit. A better trade for SHIN. He can tank shots with the Roaches. Oof. Solar, he's on the run. Forced to back off. SHIN, he knows he has momentum. Dives on the army. And SHIN, he should win the fight in the sky. Yeah, he will dominate it. Takes out most of the Mutas, can turn back around, clean everything up. Now, SHIN wins in the air, but Solar wins on the ground. But yeah, at the end of the day, the Mutas, they mattered more. And SHIN looks like he has done it. Solar trying to get into Corruptor production. They take a long time to produce. Drone's going down. Queens, they can support, but they can only do so much. The muta count gets reset once again. GG gets called. The mass muta overwhelms, and Shin, he does it. He will take the series 3-2, becoming this week's PiGosaur Monday number 5 champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Shin will take it again. Shin, he was slightly faster going to mutas. Despite that, the muta count was very close, very neck and neck, but we saw towards the end there, Solo took a really rough fight. Something to bear in mind when it comes to muta versus muta, if you have your own units on the ground to support, that actually does help you so much. Specifically what happens, the way that mutas work, if they have glaives, their attacks, they bounce off each other to do additional bonus damage. If you have units on the ground under your mutas, ideally they can soak those shots. So the muta glaives, they bounce down to the ground and they hit and they spread onto the roaches and lings instead of additional mutas. So that's why that kind of almost final fight there was so heavily in favor of Shin. He was able to have that ground support. He was able to overwhelm the muta army. Solo, he was on his own with only muta, and with that, Shin did overwhelm. He took a massive, it was like 19 towards the end, it was like 19 mutas towards like 2. It was crazy. Shin did overwhelm. GG, well played. Shin is our champion. Congratulations. Shin is our champion, and shout out to Solar. Solar, he played very well, making it all the way to the finals, forcing the ace match as well. It was a very intense best of 5, very intense ZvZ. At no point did we ever have a standard macro game where we just got up to 2-3 base saturation, got into Roach versus Roach. That never happened. Never happened here. Often doesn't happen between the Korean Zergs. Often does not happen. And with that, GG, well played. Congratulations, and yeah, we're wrapping up here for the time being. As I mentioned before, this is our first cast of the day. We have another cast in just under 5 hours time. In just under 5 hours, we're going to be live with the Alima League. As a reminder, Alima League will not be casted on Twitch. It is sponsored by ZvZ. It is sponsored by a Korean streaming platform. So because of that, we're not going to be casting here. We're going to be casting over on a different platform instead. Exclamation mark. Hold on. There we go. You can see the link in the chat. If you want to tune in, you can do so there. VODs will be available on YouTube. I will also be asking if we can restream if we can rebroadcast the VOD on Twitch. We might do that as well, just because I did find out that basically after we cast it live, Wardy is going to be casting those matches via replays like 2 hours later. Around that. So basically, we're going to be casting Alima League live. Wardy's going to be doing a replay cast later. And because of that, we might be able to just host a rebroadcast of the event as well. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if we're allowed to. We'll see if we're allowed to. If we're allowed to rebroadcast the VOD on Twitch. Otherwise, the VODs are only going to be on YouTube afterwards. We'll do our best to upload the VODs onto YouTube and to get that going. We'll do our best. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate the support. We're wrapping up for the time being. When it comes to our next broadcast on Twitch, our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow in less than 24 hours. We're going to be casting the Code for Giants Cup number 14. That is the bi-weekly Brazilian tournament that we're going to be covering. The day after that is going to be Tenacious Total Tussle, followed by the Podcast, followed by Infolet League playoffs on Friday. So a lot of casting, a lot of tournaments here back to back to back over the course of the week. I'm going to be having a nap. I'm going to try and nap for like 3 or maybe 4 hours at most. I'm going to try and get some sleep and wake up in time for Alima League. That is the plan. That is the plan. Oh boy. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Busy week always, Pappy, always. 1 to 2 broadcasts a day. Always, Pappy, always. Aye. The ZvZ channel only for Alima League? Yes. Only for Alima League. See, Pappy, see. Oh. It is going to be for Alima League. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for supporting. We do appreciate it. Careful with those. I will. True. I will set all the alarms. And again, I should be okay to nap for like 3 or 4 hours before the cast. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon, via following us on all the social medias as well. I got you covered. Bam. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We have a Mastodon. We have a Blue Sky as well. All things Cranky Ducklings. We do also restream on YouTube. So if you want some VODs, if you want that VOD action, we got you covered on our YouTube channel as well. So plenty of content on YouTube. We do upload and we do stream on a daily basis. So plenty of content available. There's thousands upon thousands of VODs on YouTube, as we have been casting regularly for the past, like, what, 5 years at this point. It's been a long time, been a lot of casting, a lot of content, plenty available there. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you for watching. We're going to be heading off for the time being. We'll see you either later tonight for Elite League, or we'll see you tomorrow for Code for Giants Cup. One or the other. See you then. Otherwise, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Sort of is live. Happy. May as well give him some love. Shads is Sort of, by the way, for those who do not know, Sort of, he recently got engaged. He moved to Korea, recently got engaged, and I don't think he's married yet, but I think I saw like a photo shoot that he did. Wait, did he already get married? No, I think he's for now just engaged. I think for now, but yeah, sort of a lot going on in his life, and you know, we always want to support that sort of thing. So much love to Sort of. And yeah, with that, we're gonna be heading off. We're gonna be heading off for the day. See you guys next time. Until then, thanks for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi. Ciao. Hasta luego.